Since the dawn of humankind, there has always been a trade of goods and services for the common good of the community. During hunter-gatherer days, you would have one group that were known as the hunters who would hunt for game, and another group known as the gatherers that would pick fruits and vegetables from trees and bushes, all to make sure everyone in both groups can be fed. This was a simple trade of services. As humans evolved more and became smarter, so did the business. Business has become an art form that people pay lots of money to study. That's how we even get these guys.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here.
Nigga, shut up. This is Taylor Swift, the young girl from Pennsylvania who sang country music as a child and aspired to do great things in the music industry. She moved to Nashville and worked at some of the best writers and producers, finally making it to the big time and seeing her name in shining lights. Imagine what was that like.
I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish.
Really, nigga?
You see, that wouldn't be the last time that the industry would disappoint her. At 15 years old, she signed to an independent record label at Big Machine Records, with whom she released her first 6 albums with. On the 30th of June 2019, Scooter Braun acquired Big Machine Records for $300 million, which effectively meant that Scooter now owned Taylor's masters. 17 months later, on November 16th, Scooter sold just Taylor's masters for over $300 million to an unknown private equity firm, which Taylor wasn't too pleased about. During a recent lawsuit by Ron Sweeney against Lil Wayne, Ron claimed that Lil Wayne sold his masters to UMG for over $100 million. That included all the masters owned by Young Money. That means all of Tyga's albums, all of Nicki's albums, and even Drake's albums until Scorpion. But didn't this guy learn from the Birdman situation? In fact, there's a company called Hypnosis that has been buying artist masters in the last couple of years, which includes masters from names such as Rick James and Timbaland. I know what you're asking. What the hell is a master recording? And why are they so valuable? Now this is you, an artist, but let's make it in the 60s before computers and the digital era. You recorded an amazing song. And to make this as simple as possible, let's say you played all the instruments and you engineered everything on the song because you're strange like that. Get it? Because Dr. Strange multiplied himself and didn't give a nigga. Never mind. The song would be recorded in one take on a black PVC vinyl disc. This is the original recording. We'll call it the master from here on out. You own this master. You own the song on this master. It's like a car or a house or a baby. You can send your baby to any school that you want because you have the rights to this master. You play this master for a couple of friends and they love the song. They love it so much that 10 of your friends actually want to buy the album to listen to it home while they go make babies and shit. Now, this is before computers, so the master is the only copy available. In order to make copies, you have to pay a record warehouse to copy the music onto another PVC disc. Now, these copies of the master from here on out we'll call the slaves. So, you need about 10 slaves in order to give to your friends. The record warehouse quotes you a phone number to make those copies. Now, let's remind ourselves what Skrum Rapper X's bank account is again.
Oh my god!
We need some milk.
Exec. Enter Uncle Scrooge McBady, your friend with lots of money who also loves the song. From now on, we'll call Uncle Scrooge the label. So the label tells you to go make one slave and he will make more copies and sell the copies of that slave himself. Legally though, that's not allowed. At the end of the day, remember, you own the song on the master. The label has to buy the master from you. Now remember, this master is the only original copy of the song. If for instance the label wants to sell the copy to a TV station or give it to a radio station or they want to take it to streaming platforms in the next 70 years, then they have to keep coming to you and asking for your permission to make a copy of that master. Now, when it comes to business and how business deals are made, this is just an extra unnecessary step for the label. So, the label says, yo, let me buy that master from you so that he can make the decisions with that record. Now, here comes the important part. You need to perform a risk analysis. How much are you willing to accept to let go of your master record? Okay, so we're back to 2020. Since we don't have PVC discs anymore, the master record is basically invisible, but your rights and ownership to it are still there. Record labels of the past and record labels in the last 10 years have changed their methods in finding artists to sign. In the yesteryears, most record labels would pay people to drive out to talent shows, open mics, street shows, basically anywhere you would go to find artists. Most of the times, it would be from unknown artists which record labels would have to promote to the consumer, which wasn't really the case because people on average would buy albums twice a week, which I'll speak about in my streaming video. Anyway, that was how they did it before. In this day and age, because of the internet and cheaper studio equipment, it's become easier to reach global audiences. Artists are now able to control a lot more of their career, including the promotion and distribution. So Hey Sego is a TikToker with over 190k followers, easily hitting 10k to 100k views for each video on TikTok. So let's pretend that each video that Sego drops is his own master record. Now, I'm gonna ask him 3 simple questions. Yo, Sego!
Yo, what's good, my G?
What's good, bro?
Ah, man, I'm nice, and you?
Number one. Yo, man, I'm doing a video right now, and I just wanted to ask you real quick, ne? Let's say I wanted to buy your account, where I fully own your account with all your content and all the revenue that you'll make from your content. Would you let me buy it from you for 100,000 Rand?
100? Nah, not 100.
All right. Would you let me have it for $100 million?
100 mil, definitely. I mean, I can just make another account after that, you know?
In this moment, Sego just did a quick risk analysis. Why is 100,000 Rand not enough, but $100 million cool?
Okay, so basically the only reason why I would sell it for $100 million is because it's a lot of money. I mean, if we're thinking about it, the main goal for most of these influencers is to make a lot of money, and 100 million is a lot of cash. You know what I mean? Like, I'm set for life after that. So if I sell my account to you for that amount, then I'm cool for the rest of my life. So that's probably why I would sell it for 100 million and not 100k. Because I don't mean to brag and boast, but I can make 100k myself with my platform right now. So 100 million is more than enough money to sustain me for generations to come.
Hey, boo.
Guys, don't get lost on the point that Sego was trying to make there. He's basically summarized the rest of the video in just a few short sentences. Okay, now what is a risk analysis? Okay, google.com risk analysis definition. Okay, let's see. Risk analysis is the study of the underlying uncertainty of a given course of action and refers to the never mind. Risk analysis involves the identification and quantification of events that too big, Ngondo too small, man. Okay, basically, risk analysis is weighing the pros and cons of a business deal. Firstly, let's take into consideration a few things. Before you make this deal, what do you have? Now, you know I don't participate in clickbait, Mos, right? So, Shane Eagle, are you happy? Let's do a pros and cons using the above. Pros. Shane Eagle has been in the top 30 MVP of the Apple Music charts with multiple appearances since 2017. His Spotify listenership is at the time of this recording at 71k. However, it averages up between 60k and 70k listeners. There's definitely a demand for his music. On YouTube, Shane Eagle has about 6 million views for just his music videos, averaging at 540k views per video. Any promotion in these videos would be worth a nice penny. Shane Eagle has the hustle on his belt. Basically, he's been introduced to a mainstream audience before. If it were likely that people would hear about him for the first time in an interview or future venture, they'd remember, oh, this is the guy from The Hustle. Shane Eagle has also been featured on songs with international artists including Bass, and has had international appeal with his interview on Apple Beats Rap Life, even getting a New York Billboard of his album. He has global recognition and can be accepted in different markets, which means he has the possibility of being in demand. Also, Shane Eagle has had endorsement deals which drive traffic back to his music. Cons. Now, when we get into radio, we're at a bit of a conundrum. Look man, I'm not saying Shane Eagle doesn't chart, but I've literally looked at every radio monitor chart and I'm never able to find Shane. But he's been featured on specialized hip-hop charts like 5FM Smash Africa charts, so he struggles to find mainstream appeal within South Africa. As much as Shane Eagle has a big niche audience for his music, he hasn't got mainstream themes like Nasty C, for instance. This is the same thing that Youngster CPT suffers from, for example. This would hurt in expanding his music to be used in different markets, thus hurting his marketability. I'm just gonna go that far because these are only superficial results and I can go way more in depth with these pros and cons, but I'm not trying to be the one to fuck up Shane's bag. But here's the point. Looking at all the factors I've mentioned above, Shane Eagle's masters would be pretty exciting to have right now, because I know a lot of ways that I could monetize his music. But here's the thing, Shane knows that too. So if I had to offer him 1 million rand, he probably would laugh at me out the building because using his masters, he could probably make that himself in a couple of months. However, if I had to offer him 50 million rand, now his ears would perk up because he would have to think if it's possible for him to make that 50 million in his lifetime just using his masters. And even if he can, how long would it take him to get there? For as long as someone has a big enough bag, Shane Eagle's masters will always be up for sale to the highest bidder. Yeah, I hope you guys at least press the like button because damn, I'm schooling you motherfucker today. Now, a lot of people think it's taboo to sell your masters for some reason. Here's something to think about. What do you do with masters? Do you even have the relationships or a business in place to maximize the reach of your masters? And do you even know what the hell a master record is? I think the biggest mistake in this day and age is that artists sell their masters too quickly and could have had a better deal in the future if they had built their brand bigger and correctly. Case in point, Taylor Swift. In fact, here's 21 Savage talking about his masters.
You had a platinum album, independent. You owned your shit, you publishing and everything.
Yes, I own my masters.
Okay.
I split. I got a 70-30 split with my label. I get 70, they get 30.
Do you ever think about selling your masters and cashing out?
Motherfucker come and say, hey, Savage, I got $1 billion for your masters. The motherfucker's gone.
What about 500?
500 million?
Yeah.
I probably take 500. I can't even lie.
Because that's some shit you could pass
Nigga
down
come from
to.
Now that you know what a master record is and why it would be beneficial to sometimes sell a master than to keep it, I can answer probably the best argument to keeping your masters forever. It's for your kids. Here's the thing though, 50 million rand or even $100 million is enough money to take care of your kids and your family after that. In fact, let's pretend after all expenses, Lil Wayne takes home $40 million. Do you realize that off of that deal alone, he can walk away with $100,000 a month for 30 years? If you can't build generational wealth with that for 30 years, then I think that's your fault, bro. Besides, you can leave your masters for your kids to have, But if they don't know how to take care of them or even carry on your legacy, then it doesn't even matter how big your empire is or was. Ask Genghis Khan.
Bitch, I am broke. I ain't gon' trip. I show my Nikes, you asked for the whip. Had to pay rent. Told my landlord, little bitch, I spend all that shit on my drip. Suck on my dick, I bust on your lip. Do that little shit where you bounce on my D. I stepped in this beat with 2 fake IDs. My name's all I need, like doobie doobie. Smoke on my weed, doobie. I'm higher than canopy seasonal trees. Sip on that lean.
Walk.
Tip to the dip, bitch, I'm causing a scene. Tell KFC man.